to fly to Florida to get dinner outside. I'm like, you know what? We're monsters, because shouldn't we be like not worrying about it? But then I'm like, you know what, Dan, nothing in our life has changed. So we haven't really, I mean, don't get me wrong. I lost a close family member to COVID. He passed away. It's not like I know what I mean. I know people who had it. I still don't feel like personally scared for myself.
Yeah. That's me either.
And I don't.
I did see a thing about the essential workers and like a non-essential worker. And it was like, because in Baton Rouge, we're just now getting back out to the wild. And for the essential workers, it was like, hey, non-essentials, we drive fast now. Because have y'all been on the road lately? Because there's been no traffic in Baton Rouge. Everyone goes like 90 everywhere.
Yeah. Well, I don't, because on my way to work, I go to work later too. I go at 9:30, so I do miss that morning rush anyway. And our traffic isn't that bad the way I'm going to work. It's the opposite. But don't I still pass 25 cops on my way to work waiting to catch someone speeding? And, you know, I mean, a lot of cops come into the restaurant, a lot of them, where I'm sure I have gotten pulled over speeding when I'm delivering, and I'm like, hey, it's me from Ryan, you know what I mean? And they're like, oh, yeah, go ahead. But still, those cops are still out there trying to ticket people here. So there is.
No, not here, because people are going so fast.
But I said, the joke here is, you know what? Cuomo's like, double down, man, catch all you can, because the state needs the money. You know, the state. Oh man, we are so screwed here financially. I mean, the taxes are just we're going to get annihilated. Margaret, expect another big rush of snowbirds moving down there permanently again.
No, Florida's closed. Sorry.
Yeah. But anyway, so really, I feel like, am I a monster for being like, me and Dan need to just book a trip if she could get off right now, which it's tough for her because of the hospital. But
we had a beautiful dinner at a waterfront restaurant Sunday night. It was delightful.
Yeah. So, and you know, here it just kind of, to me, this whole who can open and who can't is just so unfair, because a lot of these restaurants that haven't opened up at all, because the whole takeout thing is just too hard for them. They're not getting any, you know, PPE money. They're getting none of that, because you're only getting money if you're up and running. Yeah. Did you know that? Like, no money if you're not running. Number two, now they're saying for New York, see, here's the problem. Even though I'm in Central, we're still playing that game with downstate. Yeah. Even though we don't have as many cases as they do. Exactly. Cuomo is going to start, I think he will definitely split it. Like, he even mentioned, actually it was the Post, the New York Post had, who wants to move to Rochester? Huge sign, because we're like one of the few that are allowed to open. All of our cases were nursing homes here. It's like insane. It was terrible, but a lot were nursing homes. But
wait, about the restaurants. So there's this restaurant in Baton Rouge. So far, I think they've announced 3, we have something called the business report, and it'll announce when like a restaurant opens or a restaurant closes. Not all of them, but like the ones that are staples or are from like a restaurant group.
Right. Our newspaper will list who's open. Yeah.
Okay. So we had one restaurant called the Rum House that closed, but it has like really nice outdoor seating. So I'm pretty sure someone else is just going to come rebrand it, and it'll open to someone.
Right.
Fine. It's relatively new. We have this other restaurant called Rama, and it's a Thai restaurant, and it was run by 2 little old ladies making their little delicious Thai food. There was, I'm not kidding you, no other waiters. There was literally just them 2, and I'm pretty sure they also cooked in the back. Yeah. They did everything. The restaurant had no windows. It was like a little square box under the overpass. It had no windows, just mirrors inside, and it's been open for like 40 years. Okay.
Yeah.
It closed. It said like this COVID stuff was too much for it, and it closed. And all I could think about was, first of all, after 40 years, you should own that building. Secondly, it kind of like made me aggravated. I was like, I don't understand, like, what were you doing with your business that
Well, if it's the old ladies that have been doing it for 40 years, maybe they just wanted to retire.
That, or they were still just working day to day. You know what I mean? They were just going paycheck to paycheck. But the thing that,
but it was all like, y'all don't understand. Like, this wasn't like it was always like there was like an hour wait on Fridays and Saturdays. There were always a wait. Like, it was a wildly popular place, and there's no way they didn't own the building. Like, it just confused me that they're using like this COVID that's why they're closing. But in reality, I'm pretty sure, like Margaret was saying, I just don't think they want it to be open anymore. But
no, I think a lot of places will close that. But I do think that here. All right, here's the problem, Teresa, with that. So we stayed open throughout this whole thing, busier than ever, more busy than we have ever been. So busy that we have got 2.5 hour waits on the weekends. It's insane. And people are waiting because there ain't a lot of options out there for cheaper food. You can, you know what I mean? You can go pick up a dinner somewhere for $110, you know what I mean? But like a pizza type, some pizza shops closed throughout this whole thing. Now, when it comes time to reopen, all your food's either been frozen or thrown away. So now you're looking at probably 10 grand in just food costs to open again. On top of, you're behind on your rent, you're behind on all of that. So think about that. So now,
what I'm saying is, this building is 40. They've been in this building for 40 years, and I wish I could. The building is it looks like a cracked in. Okay, there's no windows. I'm not kidding about there's no windows. There's not one window in the place. It's lined with mirrors so you don't like freak the fuck out when you're in there. And I just don't understand. And then its location, like, now it's in I guess a nice location with like everything that's coming and opening. But back 40 years ago, this location wouldn't have cost but like $1. It's a cinder block building. They probably built it themselves.
They probably just wanted to close, and this was probably the time, and they were tired or whatnot. And, you know, like I say, to try to come back, if they, you know, even if they were making payments on the building, they're behind on their mortgage. I mean, who knows? But remember now, these restaurants, these pizza shops that have been closed around us, when they reopen, they have to try to get their customers back because now we have them.
Well, I know, because your pizza's probably better.
I'm not joking. So now you know how many new customers every day they're calling? They're like, where are you located? We're new. I found you. They're coming to the window. They're like, hi, I'm new. I'm meeting, you know what I mean? I'm meeting so many, and I'm always yelling, new customer, make that shit good. You know what I mean? But now I'm like, we have had so many new customers that they may never go back, but they may never go back to the other places.
So another thing that occurred to me, we were down in St. Augustine a couple weekends ago, and that's a super touristy area. And there's a ton of restaurants there that only people from out of town eat at. Like, the locals would never, ever go there.
Yeah.
And they're certainly not going to be, like, getting takeout from them right now. And it's going to be interesting to see which restaurants make it out of this down there, because, like I said, the touristy ones, like, literally no one would get takeout from them. Like, they're just, if there's no one coming from out of town, no one is eating there. And so it's really going to be interesting. Like, it's going to weed out the crappy restaurants down there.
Well, my brother likes to go to auctions because he's always got to putz around. So he'll go to like restaurant auctions and he'll buy the stuff and he'll fix it up and resell it, you know, just to putz around on the side. And he's like, oh, I'm going to have a lot of good, you know, a lot of places are going to close down, and it's very sad. But I mean, certain businesses like, was it the Los Angeles Lakers? Had $10 million in PPE money. They got called out for it. The Shake Shack got called out. Weird. Because
I heard a lot of them had to return the money because they
did. Well, also because they didn't want to be publicly shamed and lose customers that way. But a lot of businesses that are making a ton of money right now are getting extra money on top of it. So it's definitely not being distributed evenly, especially to the people that are being most hit. But it is very sad. But I don't care if I don't feel bad. I'll go to Florida so I can eat out.
You should.
Please.
Well, And what's interesting, like I said, even touristy places aside, just it really is going to weed out the like crappy restaurants for the good ones. Like our favorite taco place, and it's really popular here in town. We've been getting takeout from there once a week, and every time I call, I cannot get through. Like sometimes I can eventually get through, but sometimes I just have to drive there and order and wait because it's been so busy. So I feel like more than anything, this is like if your food wasn't that good, this is really just going to put a magnifying glass on that. Because if your product was that good, you should be doing okay right now.
Well,
Exactly.
Danielle likes this wanted Mexican the other night, and DoorDash and Grubhub, like the only one place that was open, you couldn't even get them. Like they were so busy. So she's like, fine, I'm just going to go there and order it. She said the line was like down the street of people trying to get in there to get their food. And
yeah, and I've seen like the other restaurants and stuff on like Instagram and Facebook post. They're like, we had to cut off orders for the night because we have too many.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, we've had to turn off a lot of the Grubhub type of. We've had to turn them off because we're just too busy. So
You know what's also a thing that, what about which foods are not good at takeout? Like, there's so many foods like we haven't been able to eat, but
Yeah.
we
It's
don't
not
do
good.
good takeout.
Don't get the bloomin' onion from Outback. It's like
Yeah,
dog years old by the time you get home. We tried it. It's not good.
You know what else I think is not as good as like a fish fry?
Right.
It gets soggy. Even
Obviously.
sometimes like chicken wings get soggy.
Yeah.
You know, even though
Pasta dishes travel pretty well.
and you can nuke those and they're fine.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
that's-
okay, so we get takeouts on Fridays and Saturdays and whatever. And we don't bring them back. So we live a little bit out the city from where we actually eat all of our food, like typically during the week or during like when we go to restaurants, we don't like the food around us. We go back into Baton Rouge. So we don't come all the way back home. We just like go to a park and sit in the car and car eat.
We've been doing that too. We've gone to our favorite restaurant in St. Augustine. It's like half an hour away, like almost every weekend. And there's a really nice park around the corner, and we just go sit at a picnic table.
See,
So
we don't do any of that. If that
So I
that was like leaving the house for something. That's not quarantining. If I'm out of work, I'm here.
You're a mess. No,
I'm a
but
mess.
so we'll get like pizza. You can eat pizza in the car. You can eat a hamburger in the car. Even though the hamburger place we've been going to, the buns have been soggy and it sends a rage through my spine. Like, I'm just like, what is this mush? Rage. I get irrationally upset. But you know what food is really good to like order out? Sushi.
Yeah. Salads are
Yeah.
bad. I don't like to get them like Applebee's has a couple salads I like, but I'm like, I'm not getting that salad to go. It ain't the same.
Yeah. If it has hot meat on it.
No, it's right. Because I like that, like there's a blackened chicken Caesar. So I don't know. It doesn't taste the same. It's not appropriate to get that to go.
We've been getting a lot of Whataburger. We go through the drive-through and then just sit in the parking lot and eat it.
Yeah. Yeah. We haven't been really going out to eat at all. It's like even getting food we've been eating here.
I'm so sick of like cooking though.
We don't
Same.
really cook. Danielle
Lunch.
just threw some hot dogs on the grill tonight, and I didn't even have bread. I just like ate the freaking hot dog on a fork and dipped it in some mustard, and that was my dinner. Yeah, that's just, you know, there's
So
no.
I kind of mentioned this to you guys earlier, but I was thinking about, I guess our movie theaters might open in like a month or so, but like every state's gonna be opening theaters at different times, like probably staggered really far apart.
Yeah.
And studios aren't gonna release movies again until theaters are open everywhere, which could be a really long time.
Is that true?
Like, well, I mean, no one said that, but why would they? Why would they release a movie when there's only 2 states with theaters open?
Do you think movie theaters are going to last after this? Because nobody was going to begin with.
Even if, like, let's just say in a month from now, Florida theaters open, right? Mm-hmm. What are they going to show? Hollywood's not putting movies out.
True, and if they are, they're releasing them. I think that movie theaters, we have one here with the reclining seats. It was like one of the first ones that did that whole fancy thing. And I heard they closed down and Amazon is buying all the ACMs.
Interesting.
Why?
Is that